Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that tuned in last week, I finally debuted that mystery car that I've been alluding to for the last couple weeks, Mike's 240Sx. Now, in that video, I did talk about some of the things that this car needs to have addressed before Mike can really enjoy driving it in the streets. For those of you that didn't get a chance to see that video, I am going to post a link for it in the description down below, as well as post a banner above my head. That way, if you want to see a full walk around of this car where I also point out all the things that need to be done and the future plans for building this car, you can go ahead and check out that video. However, in this video, we're going to actually start addressing some of those issues. There's a few things that we labeled as critical issues that need to be addressed before Mike can really drive this on the road on a regular basis, and we're going to try and take care of all of those in that video today. However, before we get started, two things. One, if you'd like to see more automotive, particularly Nissan content in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And two, if you'd like to support the channel, I do have the JD Archer shop. If you go to jdarcher.bigcartel.com, you can see a limited selection of t-shirts I've designed that are for sale. But with that out of the way, let's start addressing some of the issues with this car. That way Mike can start enjoying it on the city streets.
We're going to work on the engine. We're going to do spark plugs and spark plug wires we've got here. We're going to check the timing, but first, air filter, because it's quick and easy.
I just discovered something that I ain't happy with.
What's up?
That fluid is black as really low. This is your clutch.
Yeah, we'll just grab some more while we're at the shop.
Yeah, it's just brake fluid that goes in there.
Yeah. Okay, we're also going to do brake fluid stuff. So, fun times. All right, let's pop this out.
Okay.
We're gonna drop these in, see what happens. Got our NGK laser iridium plugs, and you also the wires we're putting in. It's gonna be pretty blue. I love blue. Car's not gonna be blue, so it'll have blue spark plug wires.
I like to put anti-seize on my spark plugs only because with all the heat cycling going on, I hate to think that at any point in time it basically gets seized onto the block, because that's a whole new thing. Now apparently I've been told NGK does have a release agent already built onto their threads.
I've heard that.
There again, it's just trust. I mean, I know some people do it and it's fine. I just refuse to trust a whole head to something I haven't personally tested versus anti-seize, which I've been doing for a long, long time.
Also just added the fact that I don't have to buy another engine. I already bought the car.
Well, unless you go buy SR20.
I mean, I guess I would give it an excuse.
Yeah. Apparently it's a direct drop-in. We just have to get a new brain, and then you can get the harness from Wire Specialties.
Yeah, well, these cars came with SR20s in Japan, so all the mount points are there.
Yeah.
Hurts right now. The old man.
Actually, it was the, I hit the button.
Oh. You're still an old man.
Yeah, get there. Okay.
So am I.
All right, so there's that. And where is...
Spark plug wires are behind us, and we need wire 1, aka the short one. Is that marked as number 1? These are actually kind of cool. They have little markings already on them, and as you can see, marking 1.
Okay. So, really cool when you buy the aftermarket NGKs, they actually mark them for you. This one's got a little 1 on it. So, I like to do this one at a time so I don't have to try and memorize where it is on the distributor. So, let's go ahead and remove that from the distributor. There goes this one. I don't even know what wire this is. Magnet cord. Okay, so it wasn't too bad. It's the line I'm at least aware of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a competition one.
There we go.
Not for garbage. Well, I don't know if it's garbage, but it's going in the garbage.
All right.
Put that through the little clips.
There we go.
And that's 1 done.
That's 1 down.
Now we gotta do 4 more, or 3 more.
And I'm assuming you want to work on your
and
own
then we'll
car?
go, pew.
All right, so now we got the spark plugs and the spark plug wires taken care of. The next bit of maintenance we're gonna do is the fuel filter. Looks like it hasn't been changed out in a while, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of that, just simply because, you know, one, we don't know when anybody's actually done any type of cleaning on this. We don't know if that fuel filter is clogged, in which case we're getting a little bit of fuel starvation, which might explain why the spark plugs came out a little white, or it could be that fuel leak that we're still trying to find from somewhere underneath the car. But this should be a pretty simple ordeal. All you do is pretty much unbolt it. It comes out of like a little clip, and you just go ahead and replace. All right. So the cool thing is you just take it right off of the clamp, free and clear. Just basically get these hoses off, and we can just swap in the new fuel filter. All right, so pretty much what we did was we loosened the hose on top of the fuel filter. The fuel line that goes to the hard line is what we removed for the little one. So it came out with the hose on the bottom, made it real easy to transfer over. So now we've just basically rehooked up the fuel lines. Super easy process. You could try to disconnect the hose from the bottom of the fuel filter, but that's a little more difficult. It's easier just to disconnect the soft line from the hard line, take the whole thing out as one unit, and then you can transfer the hoses over to the new fuel filter, which we've already done, and just do a reinstall. All fired up, no leaks. So we are good on the fuel filter. Yeah, so we are going to adjust the timing on this car because even the previous owner said he played with the timing so he can get the pops and bangs because he was like a teenager, but he wasn't. But so pretty much to...
Fair, to interrupt you. He was actually a really nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
Very
he was
nice.
cool,
His
yeah.
brother was really nice. Technically it was his brother's car, but he didn't speak English. But yeah, no, they had it popped in.
So what we're gonna do is the throttle position sensor, you can see right here, it's basically right up against where the throttle body would be, where the intake tube wire comes out. There's a clip right here next to the, basically right next to the engine. It looks like it's zip tied to a vacuum hose. This clip right here.
Okay.
So pretty much what we're gonna do is we disconnect this, and then we're gonna time the car. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why you disconnect the throttle position sensor when you time the car, but everything I've seen, that's what everybody does. So I'm just gonna do what the people who've owned this car longer than me do, because it makes sense and more than one person does it. So
I would imagine if that's not connected.
all right. So Mike was cool that he picked up a timing gun, which is what we need. You're gonna see right here on the clip, there's an arrow that always faces towards the engine. You want to attach to the #1 wire. So there we go. Then of course you have the power hookups. So we want to go ahead and hook up ground and power. And of course it wants to be a pain. And so now when he fires it up, I should be able to take a look at those timing marks. Yeah. So it looks like you're on the 3rd mark now. I'm not sure if you can get down in there. So we are gonna have to adjust the timing. All right, so now that I've run the timing on it, the timing is definitely off. It looks like it's probably retarded about 10 degrees. If you look down here, you're gonna see that there is a pin. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's right about here. I kind of knocked some of the goop off of it so it's a little bit easier to see. And that pin is what you check your timing with. So there's 4 marks typically on this pulley, and you want to line it up with the mark that's furthest to the right, which would be 20 degrees. So it's at about 10. So what we need to do is we're going to loosen this bolt right here on the distributor, which should let it rotate. And so once he fires it up again, I'll be able to rotate this with the timing gun and get it to where it needs to be for stock. And then this gun has a little adjustment dial here. So I've heard that if you adjust it 2 degrees, you get a little extra power. So we're gonna go ahead and do that today. And it should be properly timed. It should idle better, it should run better, and we won't get those stupid little pops out of the exhaust, which is just showing that the timing's bad to me. So, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and loosen up this. It looks like it's a 10 mil. so I should be able to rotate this now. Okay, so I was afraid of this.
What's that?
His full out distributor is off a tooth. So we're gonna have to take the distributor completely out of the car, realign it, and try again. So basically if I rotate this way, it's retarding. As you can see, it's now at top dead center, it's not running well. Doing this advances it, but it'll only let me get to the second mark. I've got 2 more marks to go.
So we just pull it off, rotate it, put it back on, and keep going.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to kill it, take this completely out, rotate it 1 tooth. All right. So that's where it's supposed to be. I can't bolt that in, so it's still off of a tooth. But at least now you can hear, see how good that sounds? So yeah, we're still off by a tooth. So originally you were sitting there.
You can visually,
So we've run into a bit of an issue with the timing. Pretty much what it is if we set the distributor in one position, we have to rotate it all the way basically clockwise until it won't move any farther. And then we're in the proper timing, which means we'd have to pull the distributor out, move it counterclockwise 1 tooth, and then put it back in. But when we do, then if we move it so far to the point we can actually get a bolt in, we're out of timing. So it seems like no matter where we put it in, I've pulled this distributor out probably close to 40, 50 times trying to see if maybe I've missed a tooth. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Apparently I was just doing some reading. If the idler sprocket was not done properly when whoever did the timing chain before this, then that's why we're having problems getting it into spec. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it timed basically as best we can. It looks like about 20 degrees is about as best we can do with where the bolt holes are, even though we want 30. But it'll give us enough that either A, we're just gonna have to redo the whole timing chain because at this point in time I don't trust any work done on this car, or B, take it down to Specialty Z, have Sebastian down there, give it a once over because that dude is like a Nissan guru. But for right now, a little disappointing, can't get it timed properly. The best we can get is 10 degrees within where it's supposed to be in spec, but that's just the best we're gonna have to do. So we're gonna do that today and move on to some more fun projects on this car.
So, as you can see, the next thing we're actually gonna work on is new visors. Woo! And I got the right color. I was actually worried I did. Well, maybe I did. Yeah, they're a little dirty. So these visors are, they've had a life, you know, falling apart. And this isn't critical to operating the car, but it bugs me. And replacing them, super simple. There's a couple screws there. Couple screws over there. We put new ones in.
No more sagging visors. The next thing we're gonna do is the first mod we're actually gonna do to this car. Given the fact that this steering wheel is, well, it's kind of bubbled out and kind of nasty and not very well taken care of, we're gonna go ahead and drop in a Sparco steering wheel because, well, let's be honest, Sparco steering wheels are some great steering wheels. Mike is actually getting the same steering wheel I had in both of my Supras. So once again, he's got a car I want that I'm kind of jealous about. Now he's even getting my favorite steering wheel. So I might steal this car from him in the future if he's not careful.
So, like I said, we've disconnected the battery, and there's a bolt. I don't want to turn it too much. We got the wheel alignment, but there's a bolt here and a bolt on this side. Both are about 10 mil. So we're gonna pop those off to get the airbag off.
Come right out. All right. Oh, it wasn't even hooked up. So typically this yellow connector here is connected to something under there, but it just ain't even there.
Probably
so
this connection.
That might be why your horn wasn't working either.
Oh, that's a different connector. That goes to... Is this even... This wire's not even connected to anything. This is jank! Oh my god, this is so jank! I kind of love it and I kind of hate it. Well, I mean, okay, let's pop the wheel off.
All right, so what you're gonna have to do is this big bolt right here. So
there we go. All right, hold the wheel. Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh god damn! She went to it the right way. Jesus.
Problem is the steering wheel's not locked, so you lose the shock value.
Yeah. Oh,
I heard it.
no! There it went.
We got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So don't take the nut all the way off, but unthread it enough.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna get it. All right, so we've got the nut loop. We'd use this breaker bar because this thing, I'm not gonna lie, it's more secure than I thought. But as he was kind enough to let me know, don't take it all the way off because we're about to have to put a lot of force to pop this loose. And if that's not there, the only thing that'll stop that is your face. So leaving it there will kind of protect you a little bit.
Let's just start
yank it off.
Yank. Go nuts. Pretend you're
it didn't move
freaking.
at all.
Yeah. No, like just. Dude, pretend King Kong. There you go.
That hurt. I caught my back. All right. Let me get some leverage.
Go nuts. Want me to jump in there? Show you what I'm talking about?
Yeah, show me what you're doing. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not understanding. Plus, I know you want to revenge on this thing a little bit for that.
So, yeah, in this particular instance, make sure you're clear, and you just go.
Just don't break the seat.
If I break the seat, I'm going on a diet.
That made me dizzy a little bit. All right. I'm gonna get that hammer. I know how to rubber mallet. Found it. I left the windows down, by the way, because it's hot as fuck.
I'm not a lefty.
I am.
Oh, got it.
That sounded like it.
Got it.
Just had to, as you say, persuade it.
Yep, gentle persuasion. Okay. So cool, we got that off. So I took a look at your, well, you don't have a clock spring. So here's what you're gonna need to do with this.
First, let's...
Yeah, we'll take care of that. Let's see this little copper ring right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do is find out where the horn button is in here. I'm not even seeing a wire where it could be.
The videos I saw that there should be some wires going. They may have like completely stripped the wires out of the horn.
That would be very unfortunate. But so what people do is they'll get like, you know, the little girl hair berets, the clip ones.
Yep.
Because it's a spring steel, and they
Yep.
run that to the wire, and then it runs up against here, and that's how you keep your horn active.
The video I saw, the guy used a soda can.
Okay, I think people like the berets because it's a spring steel, so it doesn't get tired, and
Yeah.
over time it's not going to fade away.
That makes sense. But
Okay.
we'll have to do it later.
All right, so that's clear, which technically we didn't need to do to get to this, but now we probably need a Phillips head to get this plastic surround off.
Yep.
There's the top piece.
That's all you need.
Oh, the bottom piece is stuck on because of this.
I mean, the bottom piece didn't even come off. Like, damn, this smells like gas. I want to turn the lights off.
Taking these off. Okay, so we got this all apart. We got the new blinker arm, so it actually does what it's supposed to do. So at least Mike can use his blinkers and his high beams don't accidentally turn on. Interesting thing that we've discovered here. So we were gonna try and hook up the horn for the aftermarket steering wheel. Now, To do that, you have to jury rig a little bit. See this copper ring right here on the back? That's where you actually connect the steering wheel, or not the steering wheel, the horn. But the issue you run into is if you try to just run a wire, as you turn the wheel, it's gonna wanna wrap around and it can get stuck, and that's not good. So typically what you do is you would get the horn wire, basically find a way to attach it to the top of this here. And what I've seen is people use like the girls' hair barrettes, because it's a spring steel, and they basically put it so it's pushing up against this, so as you turn the wheel, you get the connection, you can use your horn. But the clock spring's missing completely from this, which leads me to believe the previous owner had an aftermarket steering wheel, didn't 100% know what they were doing. When they decided to steal it, or to sell it, they decided to basically put the stock wheel back on and sell it that way, which, you know, people do, so I'm not too upset about that. So basically what we're going to do now is put the plastics back on, put the hub on, install the new Sparco wheel, so Mike gets a nice kind of Fast and Furious feeling car going on there. So we can basically start with the plastics here. My favorite steering wheel.
Oh, look at that.
That really is my favorite steering wheel.
That was down here, but popped it. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll go right there. Ah, okay, cool.
Okay. So do be careful. Actually, do you have any electrical tape? Do we have any tape?
Not on me, down in my car. Down in.
Here's why. So here's the thing I realized when I had this steering wheel with mine.
Give me that. What did you say? No, the tape.
Oh, the tape. I don't know if it's enough. But so here's what I want to show. So right here, see how there's little grooves in the steering wheel where the wires can fit in? It's going to be pressed against this. And when I installed my first one, I didn't catch this. And so I damaged these wires a little bit. So what I found is I took a little electrical tape, put it over this. It held them in position for when I put it on the hub, and that way there was no threat to damaging these wires.
All right, so now, thanks to JD's useful information, we're going to tape down these lines
So they don't get damaged.
into those grooves. Yep, so they don't get damaged. Here. That's fine. There we go. So that should protect them. Fully in place. Like that. So I can still rotate, move it. All right.
You're now the proud owner of a Sparco steering wheel.
Oh, that feels so much better too.
Yeah, I told you I love that wheel. Like your hand just fits naturally right where it should be in the right spot.
It's actually a little smaller than that wheel. I thought it'd be, I thought it'd be about the same size. But
It's going to be a little bit more responsive because it has a smaller diameter. So where you typically have to turn like this to turn, now it's going to be like this. All right, so we got the car in the air. One thing we're going to do with this is, only because you don't know who owned the car before, you don't know how good they were with the maintenance, we're just going to do a standard oil change because we don't know how long the oil's been in there. He might have been a good owner and he replaced it every 33,000 miles, or he could have been a typical crap mechanic owner and did it every 5,000 miles, in which case at least having a fresh quart of oil in there would be a good idea. Okay, so here's the good deal. Looking at the oil that we just drained, it looked like it was pretty new. Which leads me to believe that the previous owner at least did his oil changes, even though he kind of ghetto rigged some stuff on this car. So at least I feel it's well taken care of as far as that goes. Given the fact that we can't get it tuned properly, at least as far as timing, leads me to believe that he did a timing chain job at some point in time and did it improperly because the idler sprocket must not be in the right spot. But at least he was on top of his oil changes. But we're still doing this because then at least we know that the oil is fresh and we know we've got about 3,000 miles on it. He put the oil filter on just way too damn tight. So basically, yes, when you do an oil filter on any car,
hand tight is all you need. You don't need to reef it down. But we have the oil filter off now. As you see, I had to use a screwdriver and a hammer, and the oil should be drained, so we're just gonna put the plug back in, put on the new filter, fill it up, and go get a new battery, because it looks like this battery's going dead.
All right, going handheld on this one, we had to make a little stop at O'Reilly's because the battery's about due for a change. We're gonna get some new terminals probably, pick up some brake fluid for the clutch. And there we go. We have now addressed at least what I consider to be the most critical issues with this car, so Mike can now safely drive it on the streets. We basically took care of the spark plugs, so we know that they're new and good. We replaced those wires with NGK, so we know it's got a good brand and they're all matching. We tried to take care of the timing issue. As you can see, we couldn't get it timed properly. I believe we have it nailed down to the issue being that the idler sprocket on the timing chain is off. Apparently it's a very common issue. If you put the timing chain on and you don't cycle it through at least once to check to make sure the light marks still match up, it's gonna create this issue. So that's something we're gonna have to do in a future video, which not looking forward to, but needs to be done. We did take care of some of the interiors so he can have a more comfortable drive, meaning that we don't have the sagging sun visor. And of course we got the Sparco steering wheel, which I'm a big fan of. But all in all, I think he should be able to drive and enjoy the car now. The only major issue that needs to be addressed quickly-ish would be the wheels, because the offsets are so off, it rubs against the body when you hit a major bump. But we're looking for very specific wheels, as you know. So if you have a beat on any of those, please post in the comment section down below. Help Mike out to get this car ready so he can drive it on a regular basis. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go hit that thumbs up button to let me know. It does help the channel out a lot. As I did say at the beginning of the video, if you'd like to see more automotive, particularly Nissan content in the future, don't forget to subscribe. Plus then you'll get to see this car as it evolves into its current state, into the awesome road machine that it will be in the future. Now, also, if there's anything we've done to this car and you're a 240 owner and it's something you need to do to your car and you have questions, go ahead and post in the comment section down below. I will respond to you. I thank you all for watching, and until next time, forget everything else, focus on the finish line.